Basil Chapman, what's going on?
Hi, Tom. What's going on is that, I would like to think of it as a broken record, but at the same time, we have got a mixed market. I'm showing you the Dow on the left side chart here is the Dow Daily. The weekly is in the middle and the monthly is on the right. And it seems to me, unless there's something really spectacular that happens going into the close tomorrow, that we will make a peak C in the monthly chart below 35,091 because it has been lagging. It's doing really well, but it's lagging because you mentioned the S&P and the Index 100 all-time highs. So lagging is fine as long as it holds steady in a range. As soon as it breaks down, that means something different. So tomorrow at 4 o'clock will be the close of the month of June. And then Thursday we start July. So this candle right here in the monthly chart will make a peak C if there's no new all-time high between now and tomorrow at 4. I should mention that we've been along the Dow since March of last year. We've taken a little bit off. I actually added a little bit today just as a kind of a trade because there's a chance that there'll be some buying. And if the buying comes in by 4 o'clock tomorrow and manages to get above the high of, I think it was 3 days ago of 34,501, that'll suggest that maybe we actually continue higher right into the first week of July, which will be Thursday, and that'll be really good action.
And when you have a C, Basil, on a monthly, I mean, most of the time you get to a D, right? I mean,
I'm sorry. You're right. I should have explained that. In the Chapman Wave methodology, let me just get this chart right up here. It's being hidden. There it is. So in the Chapman Wave methodology, I try to identify the lowest low bar. When that low bar starts to move higher, I count each successively higher peak. If that initial trough at the bottom where the start was is not taken out, you count every single peak above it. I alphabetize them. You can go to 7 peaks to the upside, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But it's at D, the 4th highest peak, that other things can happen. But more importantly, in the Chapman Wave, you spoke about all my webinars. I've discussed this in every webinar that in the Chapman Wave methodology, usually as you're going from peak A to leg B, you start to get signals in some of the technicals that suggest this isn't just a buy signal, but it's a buy mode. It doesn't matter whether it's a 1-minute chart. It doesn't matter whether it's a weekly or a long-term monthly chart. The implication is exactly the same, that you should go to at least a buy mode. Once you mention there's a buy mode because of the technicals improving so much, it means you should go to at least 4 higher peaks. After that, other things can happen, the other Chapman Wave techniques to use. And here we are.
Where are we on the composite?
So now the Dow is at peak, it will be at peak C if there's no new recovery high. So it's called leg C until 4 o'clock tomorrow. Then it confirms a peak. You asked about so let's go to the composite, COMPX. The composite is trading, that's right, I lost the data. I got to redo this daily one. So we've got an alternate count here. There's a technique that I call, and I've had webinars on this, a lot of webinars on what I call the Chapman Wave instant restart. It means that when you get to that peak D, remember I was saying other things can happen?
Yes.
Well, at peak D, if within 3 bars, you make a higher high, you automatically can say, I've now got alternate counts on the way up.
So when I'm looking at your chart, you're saying that you got an instant restart, what, on the 16th or 18th, right? Is that what's...
I've got, in the monthly chart, I've got a restart with peak D in September of 2020. This is the monthly on the right. There was just a slightly lower high the next month, and then it broke out. And that's... If you break out within 2 bars after a peak,
cool, I got it. Okay.
There's a really good chance that not only will you go to a peak G, you could even go to another alternate count, as will take you to a D. So this is now, as we're speaking, this is G/C. Now I have to look at the technicals, the MACD in the composite index, and this is the broad 2,000 plus composite. This is not the Index 100.
Right.
So I have to consider this. And this is about the last year and a half is one of the first times in even say decades that I've seen so many monthly charts give an instant restart at peak D. That's how powerful this move has been. So what we're looking at is the MACD, the moving average convergence, divergence, very strong. Stochastic is flat. I love when it's flat and at 93%. On-balance volume is suggesting it's a little choppy, but that's a signal that I have to usually use shorter-term indicators to give me some sense of what's going on. And if you look at this, the 9 period is way above the 14 period.
That. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, so to get the 9 crossing negative in the NASDAQ Composite Index monthly, I would suggest to you that the monthly would have to close at about 11,500, probably even lower than that. And it's at 14,500. Right. That's 3,000 points. So unless it's really bad news, all I can say is that, so far so good. A weekly
chart. Hold on for the ride.
Well, it sounds so nuts to say, in the market, you don't ever want to say that, because the market the elves are always listening, and they have a way of trying to teach you a lesson.
In 2 seconds, right.
But it's absolutely been that. I mean, there's just no question. Look at this. Look, the S&P made an all-time high today. Yes, there's a little doji candle. I have an alternate count. It is a leg D. That's where you've got to be a little careful in the weekly chart. But if any time after we make the end of month of June, let's just say today is the high of 4,300, and I can't believe I'm saying 4,300. 4,300 in the S&P, 0.52. If all of this week there is no new high above 4,300.52, then we can start to say, hey, maybe there will be a peak B, but you've got the entire month of July for something to happen, not to break above that level. So it'll have to be terrible news, really. I mean, something like interest rates sky, whatever it is, it would have to be really bad. So far, we've got 13, 14 stocks. We're still long, haven't got any shorts. I like our positions, and we've got a couple that are at all-time highs.
Listen, folks, come over to our website at TFNN. You go to newsletters, hit newsletters. You'll see the opening call right on the right-hand side. Basil, you have a great one, safe one, and we look forward to the show tomorrow.
Thank you, Tom. You too.
Thank you. Stay right there, folks. We'll come right back.